Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another theme park vlog. My name is Michael, and as you can see behind me right there somewhere, there we go, we are at Six Flags over Georgia. Now, it is a Saturday. Since I'm a teacher in the summer times, I don't like going to theme parks on Saturdays since they're just way too crowded. But I've been to this park before. There's only one credit I need to get, which is the kiddie ride. We'll see if that one's open. But yeah, I'm here for an ACE event. That it's the kind of stuff starts at like 3 o'clock, and we actually are going to do a walk back on Scream Machine and Blue Hawk and the new kiddie coaster. So that would be really quite cool. But I'm really excited because it's been almost 2 years since I've been back to this park, and some of the takes I had before was that Superman was not good. Wasn't a big fan of it. Batman is the best Batman clone I've been on. Second best ever behind Banshee. And Goliath is the best hyper. And then Twisted Cyclone is really good, but it's a mid-tier, lower-tier RMC. So we'll see if that stuff remains true. Because as I said, I've been to a fair amount of parks since then, kind of expanded my coaster credit list. And so we'll see if Goliath still stands up, if Batman and maybe if Twisted Cyclone is a little better than I remembered. Yeah, so really excited for this. Gonna get some awesome video. Gonna try to get some video on some of that walk back stuff. But really, as I said, really excited. It took about 40 minutes to get in the park because I didn't get here quite at 11 because I wanted to grab lunch outside the park. So from about 11:30 to about 12:10, it took me to actually get off the interstate and park. So it's a little bit of a cluster, and Six Flags needs to work on that. They need more. They just need more lanes. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get in the park. Absolutely love hearing that B&M roar. And what's amazing to me is just, I think that's only about 100, oops, I don't know why it's, there we go. It's about 100-foot drop. But I mean, look how small these elements are. I mean, that zero G-roll is like not even half as high off the ground as the top of the lift hill. I mean, that vertical loop, that teardrop loop is so narrow. No wonder you pull so many positive G's. But yeah, then there we got Mindbender. I'll probably only go on Mindbender if it's got a short line, because I went on last time I was here. Not a fan. I think Scorchers may have broken down because I was thinking for a second they're just running one train ops. But as you can see there, because I've waited about 10 minutes to get video of another one going by, and oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm still getting used to this new iPhone for zoom in and stuff. Yeah, I just love the color scheme of this, and just the mess of track right here is just beautiful as you walk in the park. Already a pretty long queue, but there is a single, oh, looks like the single rider line is closed. That's a bummer. So I'm bummed that the single rider line for Twisted Cyclone was closed. I hope that's not something they close on the weekends, because that'd be such a bummer. Like, that's when you really need the single rider line. So I'm gonna see what other rides have that and try to make use of that. To rent a locker, it's only $5 for the whole day, and you can move it around. So that's the same price as Kings Island, half the price of Cedar Point, so I think it's totally worth it. This really is a really pretty Six Flags park. Twisted Cyclone's line was already well over an hour, so I wasn't about to wait for that right now. So we're just gonna kind of walk around and see what maybe has smaller lines and stuff like that. Because like I said, all these have already been on. Oh, and I forgot to mention, tonight, through ACE, we get a 45 minutes to an hour of ERT on Goliath and Twisted Cyclone. So I'm stoked about that. My first ever ERT on a ride, so really excited. Should we go on the Dahlonega, however you pronounce it, mine train? No idea. But yeah, let's see what the line is like for this. Oh, that side's Flash Pass, so you can see Flash Passes on the ground. And it is a station way. Yeah, let's go. Just got off the mine train, and that ride sucks. Like, there's no other way around it. That's easily the worst mine train I've ever been on. It's just funny, you can see some of the janky transitions as you're going, and like, you know what's about to happen. There's nothing you can do. No bracing for it. But now we're walking down this kids area, because I've never actually walked down here before. So it's really nice. You got a little play set. All these buildings here, which is nice. The flooring's interesting, but I understand kind of giving it a different feel since it's the kids area. Oh, this doesn't actually lead anywhere, it just goes down there. Okay, there's another side that's the kids area. So here's the other small kids area. They call it the DC Superhero Friends. And then there's the Joker Funhouse, which doesn't even look like there's a coaster in the station right there. That's the one credit I need at the park, man. There we go. The one credit I need in the park. One credit I need. So it looks like they've started to clear this out. What used to be the log flume ride, or the water splash, I forget exactly. So I wonder if this is potentially going to be a space to kind of add another small compact coaster or something at some point. But it's right next to the kids area, so I don't know what they could add. Maybe one of the new Vekoma family boomerangs. Like, I feel like that would fit perfectly back in this area. All right, as you can see, I know I'm using the cinematic camera, so it's blurred out a little bit, but you can see we've got Superman behind me. Well, it broke down. And still hasn't opened back up yet. It's been about an hour, and I went on Scream Machine. That was fun. I mean, it's people who say it's really smooth. It's smoother. It's a lot smoother than it used to be, but it's not like any of the Holiday World coasters or like Racer and stuff like that in terms of smoothness. But it's still fun. I mean, I got stapled down a little bit, so that wasn't as good. I went to Blue Hawk to wait in line. Line wasn't too bad, but they're only one and run trains, so I didn't want to wait for that. So now I'm gonna get a pretzel and kind of head over to the Batman area. Service road. Alright, this is what, if I could rant for a second, what pisses me off about Six Flags Parks is they say summer 2023. Well, it's already halfway through the summer. And you got the same thing happening at Six Flags over St. Louis with their kids coaster. Like, get your coasters open on time, or don't advertise it's going to open in the summer. Like, I understand coasters open at different times, and BZ Zinger just opened a few weeks ago. But it's like, don't advertise that you're coming out in summer 2023 if you're actually not opening until August or September. Like, there's my rant. Now this part looks so packed. Wow. This area of the park. We'll see what I end up riding. The ability for this park to design and come up with a hypercoaster that just flows through the park like this is just absolutely amazing. So I mean, that thing is, most hypercoasters are out in their own space, kind of out and back, that kind of thing, but not this one, man. This thing goes through the heart of the park, near the parking lot, and right here by Twisted Colossus, Twisted Cyclone, which I don't think it's broken down. I think they're just running slow operations. Once again, lines are a little bit longer. I'm gonna wait for a little bit later because I've ridden all of these. I might drive back by the Joker's Funhouse to see if that's somehow miraculously open so I can get the credit. Bugs Bunny Boomtown. Gosh, those things are so weird. I just don't know what the purpose is. Yes. Yes. The one credit I need to get is open. Oh, look at that. This looks like a pretty good little family coaster. So I wonder why some parts of the track have that tubular piece and then some don't. Because I think this is a Vekoma. I could be wrong though, but I wonder kind of what's the reasoning behind that. Waiting about 20 minutes, barely moved to be told that the ride is broken down again. So everybody's got to exit. Yeah. So there is Twisted Cyclone with a beautiful first drop. And it looks like, let me see how it looks if I zoom in. Looks like nobody's on the train, a lot of people in the station. So I wonder if this ride's broken down too. If so, that'd be like 4 or 5 of the rides today breaking down. Alright, so just went to the front gate, got my login or my sign-in stuff, and it's about 3:30 right now. At 4:30 we have a meet and greet, and then 5 o'clock's the backstage stuff. So I'm gonna go probably try to hop on Goliath before then. right, just got off Georgia or Goliath, and that is that's still the best B&M Hyper. I've been on most of them in North America. The only ones I'm missing are, I guess Candemonium, Apollo's Chariot, and Nitro. So hopefully I'll get those next month. But I mean, that's the best one I've been on. It's better than Mako. Now, I think Mako has a better first drop. I think Diamondback has a better first couple floater airtime hills. And there is a little bit of a rattle, kind of like on Diamondback, but I don't notice it. It doesn't bother me like it does for some people. But man, it's like that dive when you go into that tight helix and you gray out, and then those flow ejector hills. Like, it's not floater airtime, but it's not straight up ejector. It's in the middle, and that's just, you don't see that on Hypers. So that's an awesome coaster. I forgot it was 9 rows. So that's interesting, comparing like that to Mako or something like that has 7. But then what's also interesting about it is there's no seatbelt, which makes it that much more fun, because there's a little more of a terrifying thought to it of, I don't have anything else buckling me in, especially if you got some space. So it's a great ride. Now I'm heading over to the meet and greet. All right, so I'm here with Carter, who was also at the ACE event, and what'd you think of the walk back? The walk back that we did.
Very good, pretty good.
Yeah, and so we just rode Batman and Mindbender. Mindbender wasn't bad.
No, it was pretty smooth, except for the first sideways drop.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Batman was good. What do you think about Batman?
Oh, Batman's great.
Yeah, everything slaps, man.
I love a B&M in there.
Yeah, back row, definitely ride Batman. That ride's good. So we got about an hour and a half till the ERT starts. Yep. So we're gonna try to hit a couple more coasters. So we're about to go on Georgia Scorcher. It is stuck on the lift hill. Uh-oh. So we just went on Georgia Scorcher, and we had interesting.
We got stuck on the lift hill.
Yeah, I got stuck on the lift hill, and when I showed the video, we thought it was about to break down, and then it went. And so 2 trains later, when we were on, sure enough, stuck on the lift hill. But that's kind of an uncomfortable ride. What are your thoughts?
Yes, very uncomfortable. My first, actually. So
yeah. I'm honestly glad there aren't many of these left. I mean, the ones that have been converted to floorless are so much better.
Yes,
I just felt like for
very
me,
much.
it was like, you know, when you feel like your calf is starting to get that Charlie horse.
Oh.
I felt like that the entire time.
Yeah, a little bit.
So yeah, it was not the greatest. We still got about an hour till ERT, so we're gonna find something else to do. Yeah, now we get Twisted Cyclone ERT, baby. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. I just did 2 rides on Twisted Cyclone, and we're gonna run to Goliath right now because we got about 30 minutes left in this ERT. But man, I remember, like, I like that ride more than I remember I did, because I've ridden this was my first ever RMC. I've ridden a fair amount since then, and so I kind of had pushed it down lower. This thing slaps. Like, this is good. That wave turn outside of the stall on Air Force One might be one of the best individual elements on RMC. So perfectly executed. It does extremely well what it's supposed to. Alan Schilke knocked out of the park with this one. So now heading to Goliath. So now we got some Goliath ERT, baby. All right, so I'm actually back at my parents' house, which is why I'm not at the park, as you're kind of seeing this. But my hair looking crazy. But man, that was a great day. Like, I didn't really ride too much during the day, just because I'd ridden all that before. Line was long. Couldn't get on Joker Funhouse. That's a bummer, not get that credit. But man, Goliath ERT, we rode it 6 times in about 30 minutes. Phenomenal. Back row by far the best, or in the back. In the middle, you definitely feel the rattle more on the first 2 hills. The front, the airtime is really good at the end in the front, but the first few kind of camelback hills, you really feel like you're dragging the train, because it is a 9-car train. So it's definitely a longer B&M train. Kind of reminds me how Diamondback is, with that feel of, you kind of feel like you're pulling the rest of it. I mean, the very back is definitely very forceful with those last little set of kind of flowjector hills. It definitely, there's sometimes where it kind of lurches you forward, but man, that is phenomenal. Best hyper, and I've got a reason why I think it's the best hyper, and bear with me, there's 2 reasons. One, no mid-course, so there is nothing kind of slowing it down, right? Like, there is no Diamondback mid-course, Mako mid-course, Raging Bull, or any of these that have that mid-course and then it kind of meanders afterwards. Like, Mako doesn't really do much after the mid-course. This has no mid-course. And then the trim is not on a hill. Every other B&M should be like this. The trim is after the helix at the bottom, and there's a couple people I mentioned this to, and they're like, oh, I didn't even realize there's a trim. So they put it in such a good spot where it does not kill an airtime hill. Like, that is phenomenal. Like, phenomenal coaster, love it. I mean, operations at Six Flags some rides were good, some weren't. I need to reevaluate where Twisted Cyclone is, because I definitely like that. That is it, right? Twisted Cyclone? I think I said it right. I'm getting mixed up with that one and the one that's in New England. But yeah, that was great. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I'm heading to Carowinds tomorrow. I might do a mountain coaster on the way. Haven't fully decided yet, but we'll see. So I'm heading to Carowinds for tomorrow evening and then Monday about midday, and then come back to Atlanta. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, and let me know your thoughts if you've been to the park about the coasters and stuff like that. So have a good rest of your day.